Yo. What up? What up, family? Good morning to all you beautiful, brilliant, blessed, and abundant beings, and welcome back to another present moment. This is the Ace Anderson Show, where we go live every Monday morning at 6 a.m. to provide you with weekly inspirational and entrepreneurial tips and tricks to help you ace your life. Now, congratulate yourself on making it to another beautiful dawn with me, your dedicated guide on this journey of self-discovery and growth. And if you don't know by now, I am an actor, rapper, filmmaker, poet, the ace of all trades, the modern Renaissance man, Ace Anderson, and I am so happy to be here with you for another blessed week. Now, as we embrace this first light together, I want to extend a special shout out to all the early morning risers joining live. Now, it's your dedication to starting the day and the week with intention and positivity is what makes the A-Team extraordinary. So grab your favorite morning brew. My choice is alkaline water. And let's explore, illuminate, and inspire ourselves to be better with mindful conversation. Now, today, I'd like to discuss something that has been on my mind for quite some time. I have this belief that I want to explore, so many people are arguing all the time about so many different things, about so many different beliefs and understandings and their perspective on things, especially when it comes to religion. And so what I want to explore today with you all is what if everyone is actually right? What does that mean, and what does that look like? And I'd love to explore that because it's something that really resonates deeply with me to see an example of people actually all being correct in their own perspective. So I want to dive a little bit more into that. So now that you know what the topic is, feel free to leave your questions in the comments below, and I will get to them throughout the live stream. So as we embark on this week's adventure, let us remember to align our hearts with the fruit of the Spirit, and that is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And let us trust these divine nine to guide us on our path to living a life that resonates deeply with our most authentic desires. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, for me, there is a lot of different points of view, right? Exactly. That, we all tend to believe that we are right from our perspective. And it is my understanding that we actually are right from our individual perspectives, right? We all, I think, have an innate understanding of the world and the way that it works. And if you've been in our segments before, we've talked a little bit about how everyone actually worships the same God. You can't not. And it's more than what your stated belief is, what you believe to be true when you speak out loud. It's more about how you act, right? Because what you believe is not what you say. What you believe is how you act. And because we act according to our beliefs. And so the fundamental belief is that God is your conscience, right? So God is eternal. And when we talk about the characteristics of a God is eternal, God lives forever, God's never die. And so that's why certain religions have personified emotional states of being, because those are different gods, so to speak. They take control. They are ever present, like the god of rage. Rage itself personified lives forever. It's immortal. It doesn't die. As much as you can say that you wouldn't, as much as you say, like, just because if I'm an angry person and I happen to transition to the next life, doesn't mean that another person couldn't get angry, right? So rage, we can understand, lives forever. So that's what makes a God immortal. And gods have, they're omnipresent, which means that they can be everywhere. So anywhere there is a conscious being, that God can live. And so when we talk about what the top God is, the top God is your conscience, your overarching conscience of good and evil. And that's what it means to be God. When Adam and Eve eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, that's what it takes to be God, is to know good and evil, right? So you're still, now we know that we're going to pass and perish because we understand, we can see the future, we can see tomorrow, we can project ourselves into a time that is other than now, which we're the only beings, as we understand it, that are capable of doing that. So every being is capable of projecting themselves, or sorry, every human is capable of projecting themselves into another time. And so when we become aware of good and evil, we instantly die, because time is no longer relevant. Time is not relevant to a God. So we can see, we are become aware of our death. And so our death is in that moment, right? We will surely die. And that's all that it means. It doesn't mean that you die then, right? But it means that you become aware of your death. You become aware of your future. You become conscious of it. And so you make different choices. And so, Adam and Eve discover that they are not protected with their current nakedness. And so they become ashamed of their nakedness because the world is out to kill them. And they weren't conscious of the world trying to kill them and evil, right? You're conscious that you don't want to die, that you're conscious of life, and you're conscious of promoting life as a baby. But you learn that there is evil in the world. You learn that people can be malevolent and that people can know how to hurt you. And so that's what it means to be aware and have the knowledge of good and evil. So when Adam and Eve eat the fruit of the spirit, or not the fruit of the spirit, sorry, the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, they become aware of several things. They become aware of their death. They become aware of their own mortality. They become aware of their vulnerability, and they become aware of evil, because we are already inherently good. Now we're awakened and we can see that other people could do the same thing, because it's like, oh, wait, if I know evil, then I can look at this other person, and that means there's a snake in them that can do evil. More than just like hurting me, they can emotionally hurt me. They can do emotional damage, right? So that's another aspect of it. So we all worship the same God because our conscience is the God that we worship, right? Our conscience can be characterized as our future self trying to manifest itself in the present moment. So you project a vision of yourself in the future, and then everything that you do is in service to that God, to that future God, that state, that emotional state that you wish to live in. And everything that you do is because you feel like you believe you will feel better in the having of it. So that's why we want to go to heaven. That's why we don't want to go to hell. That's why we do things to satiate ourselves. That's why we do things to satisfy, because we're constantly seeking a state of satisfaction, a state of peace. We're constantly seeking to be aligned with the spirit, and the spirit right? The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So we want those things to be able to experience a better life, right? Because that is we want to be aligned with spirit. So our spirit, the Holy Spirit, consciousness, right? Our higher selves or our inner being or God or the universe or source energy. It goes by many names, but the main the actual name of God is I am, to be, right? To exist. The name of God is existence, but not just existence, awareness of existence. And what describes that better than consciousness? So it's conscious. God is literally saying that I am consciousness. I am awareness of being. That is me. That's my name. And we all worship that. Even if you say you don't, you worship some other God, you worship this particular God, it doesn't matter. The God that you worship is the God that gets you up out of bed every single morning to go to work because you believe you're projecting yourself into your future and you believe that you will feel better in having a job that pays you so you can have the money to live the lifestyle that you want. And you feel that if you have the lifestyle that you want, you'll feel better in having it. So if you're following, I hope you're following, but if you have any questions, please ask as we continue to dive a little bit further into this, because I truly believe that we all believe the same things. And I can describe any aspect of life. If you throw it to me, I promise you it can be described in this manner. So, so now when it comes to death, right? So typically whenever we personify death or a dream state or heaven, right? What do we associate mostly? What visual aspect do we associate mostly with that, right? We associate that with light, right? Whenever we're people are like unconscious or on their last leg, they're always like they're like, don't look to the light, right? Don't go to the light. So we're constantly on a journey towards the light. So our present, you can consider point A, and the future, our future self, exists in point B, right? And then we have created the illusion of time to show what energy and effort it would take for me to get from point A to point B. So that's our lifespan, right? But we're constantly moving towards light, and light, divinity, God, consciousness, heaven, they're all a light bulb, right? When you get an idea, it's a light bulb. It's a spark. We have a spark of divinity that gives us ideas, that gives us an image of the future, right? And that image we project, just like a projector has a light bulb in it, right? To shine onto the back screen, right? That image, we project that image on the future, and then we do our best to serve that future. Where everything that we do, we wake up in the morning, we go to brush our teeth. Why? Because we have a projection that if we don't brush our teeth, then the God of the future will give us rotten teeth, right? Or we'll have bad breath, and when we go to kiss the person that we love, they'll turn us away, and we don't want to be turned away, right? We want to be accepted into the future because we believe we will feel better in having it. So it's the same thing with heaven. It's the same thing with everything else. We're constantly serving the same God. We all serve the same God. We all want to feel better in the having of the future. We all want to inhabit the future. And if you look at every single guru, every single life hack, every single book that talks about how to live a better life, or all the self helps. You are a badass. The simple, what is it? The simple art of not giving a fuck. The what's the atomic habits. Think and Grow Rich. I mean, you name it, right? Every single book talks about the same thing. We're on the journey for the same thing. It talks about source energy. It talks about God. It talks about divinity. It talks about all of these aspects in the same way. They describe it as our future self trying to manifest it. They don't say this, but they describe it as our the source of everything that we come from. And so the core of the teaching becomes, you don't have to have the things to be happy. In fact, it's not the having of the things that makes you happy. It's the acknowledgement within yourself. It's the acceptance of this present moment that you have the power. That is what actually makes you happy. It is your alignment with the fruit of the Spirit at this present moment, right? When you combine the two, when you conflate the two, right? That's what actually brings happiness, because the fruit of the Spirit, right, is love. The Spirit is joy. The Spirit is peace. The Spirit is patience. The Spirit is kindness. The Spirit is goodness. The Spirit is gentleness. The Spirit is self-control. The Spirit is faithfulness, right? So you can be that right now, and you can have heaven and everything that you desire right now. You don't have to go out and get it and look for it. If you want to be rich, then you have to accept that you're going to be rich right now, and let the feeling, because the only reason why you want to be rich is because you believe you will feel better in having that. You believe you will feel better in having financial freedom and money. So in order to be rich, you have to, that's a requirement, right? Because that's what you want from it. So if you have the experience of being rich right now, even without the manifested reality, you have the vibrational reality. So you can match up to the spiritual realm, right? The love, the joy, the peace, the patience, the kindness, the goodness, the faithfulness, and accept everything that you have is right now, because you decide you're going to be rich. I'm going to be rich. That's it. That's it. There's no question about it, right? And so I'm going to be happy right now. I'm happy. Like, if I look at my lifespan, so many of us like look at celebrities and, idols and role models, I should say, not idols, but we look at role models, and we're like, to have that life, right? We fantasize oftentimes about having the life of some other insert celebrity name, right? Or insert inspirational figure. And we're like, man, to have that type of a life. But we're only seeing the end result of them believing that it was possible in the first place, right? When they were a kid, when we look at like Elvis, right? Or when we look at Michael Jackson, or all of these people, right? People who are hugely inspirational and hugely impactful on the rest of the world. We look at these people and we're like, man, to have that life, to be that person. And it takes belief. It takes belief in yourself. And it's not necessarily belief. It's a faith in, it's more than just believing, because believing is also an action. It's like, it's already it's a knowing. It's a knowing. I love this video. I don't know if you've seen it circulate that says belief is a doubt, right? Because if I asked you, who is your mother and father, you'd say you know your mother and father. But if I ask you, do you know Jesus, you'd say you believe in Jesus, right? So you know that you know that you are something, right? You speak differently about it when you know it versus when you just believe it. And when you believe it, you're doubting yourself. So I love that aspect. Sometimes it falls apart in other ways, but generally speaking, I think the sentiments are really strong. And so it's really it's really useful to know and understand that you can have everything that you desire right now in this present moment, right? And you can align yourself with the truth that everything that you want already vibrationally exists. It already exists in the spiritual realm. All you have to do now is line up with the spiritual realm. And we already talked about the characteristics of the spiritual realm, right? When we talk about transitioning into non-physical, when we talk about transitioning into light, when we talk about becoming holy, becoming God, when we talk about transitioning into non-physical, we are acknowledging that we are free of this physical reality, so we can experience pure love, pure joy, pure peace, pure patience, pure kindness, pure faithfulness, right? So, but the thing is, we don't have to transition into non-physical in order to experience that right now. The goal is to be like Jesus, right? The goal is to be as Jesus was, which it doesn't matter whether you're a Christian or not. That really doesn't matter. What I mean when I'm talking about being like Jesus is being so aligned with your spiritual divinity, being so aligned with your purpose that you can manifest anything in this present reality, and you get to manifest and live at the same time. It's not that you have to transition. You can experience it here in this reality, right? You can connect. You can be so connected with source energy, with divinity, with the universe, that you can heal people. You can manifest things. You basically are a real life superhero at that point, right? And you can manifest that by aligning with everything that you desire in the spiritual realm, and then accepting that it is inevitable that those vibrational frequencies will now manifest into physical frequencies, into things that you can hear and smell and taste and touch, right? So it is incredibly important for you to recognize that the spiritual realm is the most important realm that you should be focused on. And a lot of us get inundated with the physical realm. We're seeing all these things, and we got social media, we have all this external stimulation, right? And that is great, because we manifested these things. Every moment is a manifestation. So we can have these things that we can see and hear and smell and taste and touch. But our core of our being is non-physical, is the vibrational, because our emotions is what we feel, right? It's really about what we feel. That's really what we're here for. It's because we want to feel good, right? We want to feel that energy of happiness, right? And that energy of happiness and excitement and love and joy and peace and patience starts with our consciousness, which is why God is the one that we actually serve, right? You're not supposed to serve things of this world. And what does that mean? That just simply means, all it simply means is that the alignment that you have should be always in service of the conscious, non-physical, vibrational, spiritual being that is you. You should not be in service of things that are here that you can touch and taste and smell, right? Because you get lost in the physical reality of this world. That's what it means to not to serve this world. There's nothing out here. None of this stuff is real. As much as we see it as physical reality, none of this is real. What's real, what is ever present, what will never die, is the spirit of being, light itself. Right? God is associated with light. And just in the terms of some science, if you want a little bit of a science lesson, do you know that we understand that matter cannot move at the speed of light? We also understand that if we move faster and faster, time slows down, right? And if you were to move at the speed of light, time would stand still. So you wouldn't age. If you were at the speed of light, time would stand still. There would be no perception of time. So time doesn't exist. So now imagine being God. You're God. You are light. You are the embodiment of light. Right? That's God is the opposite of darkness. Right? So it's light. So if you're moving at the speed of light, time doesn't exist for God. And God is the Holy Spirit, right? And so the Holy Spirit is light, and the fruit of your spirit, now we're getting down to it, is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So those divine 9 make you aligned with God. That's the only thing that you should serve, is your love, is your joy, is your peace, is your patience, is your kindness, your goodness, your faithfulness. Because if you serve those things, that's ever present. Time does not move. That is the ever present reality. When you look at serving the fruit of the Spirit, that's the whole point of life. That's what we're all actually here doing. And we get inundated with the physical because we believe that the physical is what's giving us those experiences. It's not the physical. It's our desire of the physical. It's our desire that is actually manifest. It's the idea that we're moving towards something that we want that actually makes us happy. When we move towards something that we believe will make us happy, we are actually happier than when we actually attain the thing that we're moving towards. Did you know that? Let me say that again. When we are moving towards something that we believe is going to make us happy, we are actually happier than we will be when we attain the thing that we believe will make us happy. There's more endorphins. There's more, dopamine that's fired and feelings of goodness that are inspired because you believe, because you're serving the future. Because that is our true state. We're just in service of the future. We're not even having it yet. And we're just getting excited. It's like going on a trip. I'm going on a trip. I'm like so happy. I can't wait to see all the people that I'm going to see. And my family's going to be there. And I'm going to get to go to this place. I'm going to get to go to this place. All of that stuff is more exciting to you. Serving the future is more exciting to you than when you actually manifest the future. Isn't that crazy? But it just goes to show that we all serve the same God. We all serve consciousness. We all serve this Holy Spirit, which is our future selves trying to manifest itself in the present moment. That's all God is. That is God. Our future selves aiming to manifest in the present moment. The aiming, right? The aiming to manifest itself. It's not, God isn't your future self. God isn't your present self. God is your future self trying to manifest itself in the present moment. It's the action, right? The space in between. In other words, it's the journey. That's why everyone says it's joy in the journey. And joy is a fruit of the Spirit, right? So you actually find more than just joy in the journey. You can have love in the journey. You can have peace in the journey. You can have patience in the journey. You can have kindness in the journey. You can have gentleness in the journey. You can gain kindness in the journey. You can gain peace. You can gain self-control. You can gain faithfulness in the journey. So there's much more than just joy in the journey, right? So we all are worshiping the same God. We're all after the same thing. Any questions? I'd love to hear your questions, for real, because it's really, it's a really cool thing to understand. Once you really start to get the hang of it, and you start to recognize how God is actually moving through your life and the things that you're serving, because then it can help you reorient yourself towards serving the proper things in your life that will manifest the future that you actually want, right? A lot of times we serve a short-term God, and it's the same, it's technically the same God, but there is a superior God, which is the God of the more distant future. And the more distant the future, the higher, I believe, the higher the God. And that's something that can be up for debate, because, you can say, right, people that are trying to serve the larger the larger community that do evil things in this moment to in service of the larger community, is that in service of God? I would say it is in service of God, but it's not serving God optimally, because the proper way to serve God is to look at every aspect of your experience, look at every aspect of your of the future, every aspect. So it's not just, so you don't just serve yourself, right? When you serve yourself, you're considering the others in this present moment, and then you're not just considering yourself in this present moment, right? You're considering yourself tomorrow. And you're not just considering yourself tomorrow, you're considering yourself next week, and you're considering yourself 2 weeks from now, and you're considering yourself 5 years from now. And the more optimal you are, the more service you're doing, is the more you're considering each and every individual and their future states, and so their present state, their future state, and their further future state, and then your present state, your future state, and your further future state. So that's the best way you can serve the true God, right? And there really only is one. There's only one. Hate to break it to you, but there's only one. There's only one consciousness. That's it. You don't get two consciousnesses. And even so, where it's all the same, like your consciousness and my consciousness is the same consciousness. It's the same spirit, right? It's the same essence. It's the same makeup. So we all serve the same God. We're all serving the same God. We're all working towards the same end. It's all, let's not say we are, let's say it is. It is all working towards the same end. And the reason why, and then a visual representation of that can be, all right, so we know that we're at point A, right? And we're moving towards point B. So we serve point B because the goal is to be, right? So in service of I am, God is I am, he is existence, and our goal is to be. That's the reason why we live. We're existing, we're aiming to be. So we're going to be point B, and that is 1 point. And we're essentially moving towards the light. So let me draw a little diagram here for you. Boop, boop. All right. So can everybody see this? I'm gonna hopefully. All right. So here we go. We are at what? We are at point A, right? And that's probably hard to see because I should have written in black like I was doing before. All right, so let's try this again. We're at point A, right? And we're moving toward point B, right? And so that's us. But it's a little bit more aligned than that. So that's you. That's me. That's you. You're also going towards your future. And this is light, right? So let's see if we can make this bigger. Or actually, maybe I should make it smaller. So I can zoom out and show you real big picture stuff. All right. So we got point A going toward point B. We got point A going toward point B. We got another point A going toward point B. Oops. We got another point A going toward point B. We got another point A going toward point B. Right? And so, boom, 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 boom. This is all the people of the world moving toward. Oh, you can't see that at all. That's terrible. That's terrible. Man, why didn't y'all speak up? Why didn't y'all say something? All right. So, anyway, the point of what I'm trying to make, so these are all different people going towards their future. Hopefully, in some form or fashion, they try to show that a little bit better. Let me see. That's terrible. That's just terrible. That's horrible. All right. So anyway, the illustration that I'm aiming to make at the end of the day is that we are all moving towards this. Oops. And we are all on journeys like this. And what is that? That's a sun. And what does that sun represent? What does the sun give us? Light. And there it goes again. God is light. And we all move towards the light. We are all manifesting our light. We're all bringing about God because that is the aim, right? We're aiming to make our lives better and then our future generations' lives better. So we're all in service of God. We're all moving towards Picasso is preaching, people. We're all moving towards light, right? We're all moving towards this final destination. And it is no final destination because time doesn't exist to God, because time doesn't exist to light. If you were to move at the speed of light, for those of you just joining in, if you're moving at the speed of light, time would stand still. That means there is no time, right? So that's what it means to be in heaven. And you can align with this right now. You can align with the fruit of the Spirit, because the fruit of the Spirit, or divinity, your spark of divinity, your light within you, is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So you're aiming to feel that way all the time. That's the only reason why you want to get to heaven. That's the only reason why you want to get to heaven. You don't want to get to hell, because hell is the absence of those things. You hear that? Heaven and hell are states of being. So hell is the absence of those things. Boom. So thank you guys for coming to my TED Talk. I'd love to answer any other questions that you guys have. So one question that we have here is facts. So would you say it's safe to say that the optimal servitude of God is often omitted when we only seek to serve ourselves or our own biases? Correct, right? So we have to recognize that we are individually not righteous. Like we are not righteous. We are not right. We individually, we're not right. But as you see from the diagram, the sun, right? We each have our own multitude of perspectives. And it is the multitude of perspectives that comes together like a puzzle piece to make the final core of truth, right? So it is our individual truths. No single person's truth is right. There is a core truth, right? That core truth, it's not our core. It's not in our core. It's the core of life itself, of the spirit itself, that is at the end, right? That we're all moving towards a singular destination that is one spherical, like I just like to see it as the sun. Like the sun, there's no real better example, physical example, than the sun, because the sun represents light. It gives life, right? Without the sun, there would be no life, and without the earth. So this is another aspect that we can take it to, and not to get off topic. I hope I answered your question already. That we're not all individually right. We're all collectively right. It is a collective conscience that we all must serve and recognize is the reality of the situation. So, so now when we talk about, sun, right? So the what makes up our solar system, or not even so much our solar system, but our ability to live on this earth, right? We have the Father, which is the Son, right? It's a little confusing. The Father is the Son, and that is fire and light, right? Then we have water, which is the earth, right? That's what gives us life here on earth. And then we are birthed from the earth. So the earth is from which we come. So that's why it's Mother Earth, because we come from the earth, right? We are birthed from the earth. We didn't get birthed from the sun, right? The sun technically, with its heat, right, impregnated the earth. If you're thinking about it in a personified sense, right? This is not literally what happened, but if we're personifying the earth and the sun, right? The father time, because time does not exist to light. Again, that's why it's Father Time and Mother Earth. Mother, water, is everything we come from, right? From which we all are birthed. So that's why it's considered the mother. That's why all of these religions, that's why we're all right. Every single religion, you can go back, you can look at it, you're like, dang, these folks was preaching, right? Because you start to understand that, oh wow, like it all is making sense. And yes, we use our poetic storytelling to be able to We use our poetic storytelling to be able to explain it, because how, I mean, like, we're trying to explain the universe, bro, and we use what we know best, which is our God-given gift of art, right? We are the only beings capable of creating, consciously creating art. So we use that to the best of our ability. That's why we have all of these different religions that come from different cultures, but they're all aiming to explain the same exact thing. We're all trying to explain that, hey, there's something that you should serve that is bigger than yourself. It's not just this physical. It's not those physical. It's not the worldly things that we should be serving. We shouldn't serve the actual physical manifested sun. But the sun is a representation of the spirit of divinity that we should serve. So you can represent it by the sun, but you shouldn't be serving the sun. You shouldn't be serving the earth, right? We can serve the unity. We can serve the community. We can serve the spirit of humanity, right? And we can do service so that we can protect our future. That is the thing we actually are serving, not the physical. We're serving the future, just like a gardener. That's why God put Adam and Eve in the garden, because it is the perfect balance. A garden is a perfect balance. A garden isn't a forest. A garden isn't a jungle, right? A garden isn't a garden is a well-watered place, right? It's a place where there is balance. And that is the proper place for humanity to exist, in balance with the environment, with things that are manifested, with things that are here. We are to recognize that we are in balance with everything, right? And so, I mean, the point that I'm trying to make, or that I hope I have made it by now, is that we all serve the same God. Every single religion, and anyone who is fighting with each other is getting lost in the weeds, right? It's like arguing which is more true, Batman or Harry Potter. It's like they're both true. They're both stories of people who represent a realistic understanding of humanity. Harry Potter and Batman are both orphans. They both see the state of the world and decide that it is best to uphold the light and uphold justice, and they do what is within their power and their God-given power and authority to transform the world into a way that they believe they will feel better in having. And so that is the goal of life. And so we should not be arguing with each other about religion, about the weeds, because religion is just poetry. Religion is just poetic storytelling. It's a poetic way of understanding ourselves. And when we fight about it, we are not aligned with the fruit of the Spirit, which is the only purpose of life. That is the only purpose. Your purpose in life is to be loving, to be joyful, to experience peace, to experience patience, to experience kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. There is no other purpose for you in this life. You are seeking nothing else. You are seeking nothing else. You're seeking love. You're seeking joy. And you can have that right now, because the fruit of the Spirit can never be taken from you in every single instance. And even the gurus say this, right? No one is making you mad. You are allowing yourself to get mad at the physical manifestations that you see before you. So your happiness, your joy is your responsibility. And there's a great power in that. And we know with great power comes great responsibility, as Ben Parker would say. If you're Spider-Man fans, to all your Spider-Man lovers out there. So your only purpose in life is to have love and joy and peace and patience. So the Divine Nine, become familiar with the Divine Nine and recognize there's no reason to fight with anyone. There's no reason to fight with the other political party. There's no reason to fight with other religions. There's no reason to fight with your partner. There's really no reason to fight at all, because we're all after the same thing, and you can have it right now, regardless of what is manifested. If you are getting upset at things that are manifested in this reality, then you are serving the world. You are serving the world, and your objective, your optimal, primal objective is to serve spirit, to serve consciousness, to serve the non-physical. Your goal is to serve the Holy Spirit, always. And we know what makes up the Holy Spirit. I know I don't have to say it again, but I will. It's the Divine Nine, the fruit of the Spirit. And if you don't know the fruit of the Spirit, look it up. Look it up. The fruit of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. There can be no law against these things. No one can take them from you. Don't you realize that's the most powerful aspect of yourself? That's the most powerful thing you can do, is to experience unconditional love. You are unconditional love. To be that, to be like, nobody could take my love from me. Oh my God. Nobody could take my joy. Like, if I'm not in joy, I'm getting inundated with worldly things, and I need to let that go. I can experience joy right now just because I like just thinking about stuff. Just changing my thoughts. Oh, wow. Like, this thing brings me joy. When I think about that, that brings a smile to my face. This makes me kind, and I can be patient. I can just be patient and just enjoy where I'm at right now, because I already know I have faith, which is another fruit of the Spirit. I can be patient because I have faith that everything that I want is manifesting all the time. Everything is always working out for me. Remember that. Everything is always working out for me. 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 And everything is always working out for you. It's always working out for you. And that's where you have to start. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions, I can give a little bit of time to answer any questions, but, I just wanted to say thank you for those of you that joined in and asked your questions, and it's been a very fruitful conversation. I love having these conversations. We're going to do this every Monday. We're going to talk about things, please, once I get off the live, even just leaving comments in the comment section, just asking your questions and things that you might want to discuss or hear about next week. We'll talk more in depth about some of these things, but like I said, it's an innate core truth, and I've been blessed to understand it, and I love being able to share it with the people I love. And so I really want to just say thank you for joining, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to be able to share a lot of this stuff with you, and engaging with me and all of that stuff. It's really, really helpful. And just like that, we're wrapping up another fantastic session here on the Ace Anderson Show. Big love and thanks to each and every one of you who joined us live this morning. It is your energy and insights that light up this community and push us all to level up in every way possible. So don't forget, we're here every Monday between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m., something like that. You know, I'm just trying to figure out the timing right now. You guys let me know what time works best for you, but we're definitely going to do this every Monday that I'm home. That I could do it, and I'll at least aim to go live on Instagram. I'm live on YouTube, Facebook. I go live on every platform. I'm lucky to have this platform called Ecamm Live, which allows me to go live in every aspect. That's why the setup looks so wavy right now. But you know, we're going to be doing this every Monday, bringing that heat to start off your week right, because I really want to make sure y'all have a great week. And now, if today's conversation got you fired up, inspired, or just curious to learn more, please drop a comment, share this stream, and tell a friend, because word of mouth honestly is the best influencer. So keep Ace Boogie in your thoughts and prayers, and I promise to do the same. Also, follow me on all social media platforms. Like I said, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, all of the above. So you can follow me at the same social media handle, Ace Shot That, on every platform. Or you could just look up my name, Ace Anderson, and I'm sure I'll come up. So come follow your boy, and let's keep the A-team growing strong. Until next time, remember to always, always, always align yourself with truth, trust, and patience, and I promise you will ace your life. Peace out, y'all.